Hello and welcome to Devlin's Pirate Radio Show. I'm already laughing, so you know you're in for a great show. Merry Christmas. I am so excited. I feel like Perry Como or Bob Hope. Yes, these are old people I'm referencing to, you youngins out there, because they had yearly Christmas shows, and tonight is my Christmas show, and I got my gift tonight because Corda asked me what I'm going to do for my Christmas show, and I thought about it, and I said, I don't know, I'd like to try having two co-hosts, and off the top of my head, I could think of wonderful people I'd have on, but the first two that jumped in was Josh Obermeyer and Andrew Hops. And they are here with me tonight because it all worked out, and they are here. And now they're not talkative. They couldn't even get started, and...
Oh, we wanted to let the tension build.
Yeah, these two guys have been the most on my show. I think you've done 2, you've done 3 episodes, 3. And you did a stepping out. So you need to work next month. You're to keep beat. There's no competition because you both get another one under your belt. Anyhow, I told Corda I wanted these guys because they make me laugh, and I thought putting us in a room could be this could be a triple Xmas Christmas special. Though they're very well behaved now. You should hear the stuff we were talking about, but give us some time.
Candy canes and gifts under the tree.
Snowballs, little frosted snowman.
Well, let me look at you two here. Well, first say hi, so we can get people to get your voices. So, Andrew?
Merry Christmas. Hello, everyone.
Merry Christmas, season's greetings. I don't actually sound like a Polish grandmother.
He looks like one.
I do.
He looks like a Polish grandmother.
Rock the babushka. Very good.
Yeah.
I am so happy to be here. This is like, if I received you guys on Christmas morning, I would just probably explode. Like self-combust.
I'm sure.
But
it might happen tonight.
The question is, would we be stuffed in a stocking or wrapped under the tree?
Both sound wonderful. Just nice, beautifully placed bows would be good.
Just the bow.
Just the photo shoot we did was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed that.
No bows.
No. Well, I always think of these provocative ones, but I'm like, I can't ask that.
Well,
I don't know. I just feel that's weird.
I remember we really wanted to try to do like the Men of the Staircase calendar a couple of years back.
Oh, I know this.
The fabled calendar that never
comes
around.
I wanted to do that.
Been great.
I was supposed to be February and all that because of how we first met.
Oh, for January. It should have been January for your birthday.
Yeah, I know, but they were going for staircasey things.
Oh, okay.
So they thought I always do how we first met, so I should do that. And I could have a really big Valentine. So it wasn't going to be nude or anything like that. No, I don't do nude for under $17. So
what does $17 get us? Because
we just started here.
I left my wallet in the other room.
Yeah, I have to quote Mae West when she said, "All this meat and no potatoes." You are the two hunkiest guys I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you.
See, I might self-combust today just having you here. But we're going to talk Christmassy, and that will hopefully put us in a more sentimental mood, but we can go anywhere. You know this show.
Warm and tender.
So, tell me of your love of Christmas. No, this is where you told me I hate it. No, I'm kidding.
No, Christmas for me is always John Denver and the Muppets. That's my family, like,
that's what they look like?
No, that's always the soundtrack to us decorating the Christmas tree.
Oh, okay. Nice. They put that album on?
Yeah, my mom and I used to decorate the tree. Dad looks off in the corner somewhere, and my mom lurks off, not jerks off.
I heard that too.
Lurks off in the corner.
Okay, what is he doing? I know I want to get to the sentimental part.
He's usually reading, or nowadays on the laptop.
So he's there.
So he's in the room. He's not present actually putting the ornaments on the tree. He leaves that to my mom and I, because anytime it does happen, my mom's like, this one goes here, that one goes here, in order.
My mom's that too.
Yeah, I can do whatever, but
yeah, she was the Christmas Nazi.
Yeah.
She's German, I can say that.
Oh, she really?
East Germany. Well, she wasn't a Nazi, but she was East German and was in World War II. But no, she was like that too. So you know what it's like, you know.
Yeah.
Those two red balls shouldn't go together.
But the blues.
Yeah. My dad's hanging the blue balls up.
It's I'm dreaming of
My,
a blue
I guess
Christmas.
I don't know if my dad lurked, but I know there's a lot of booze running. Like they always bought
Eggnog or?
no, they just were rye.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
right.
whiskey, Crown Royal. I think that's all the same thing.
Yeah.
You can tell I'm a drinker.
All the whiskeys.
So you're telling a beautiful story, where
I am until I still remember another great Christmas memory of ours. We went to check out the Youth Symphony because my cousin was playing it. And one of the features they had was a guest tenor singing "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas."
Okay.
The tenor was black.
Oh,
It was just this terrifying irony. It kind of goes through the crowd as everybody sees him sit out there. They announce what's going to happen, and then everybody just kind of just sinks back in the seat. It's kind of like, oh, it's actually happening. Somebody didn't quite plan through this program.
I know. Well, I recently wrote a status on my Facebook saying, "Is this the year they're going to ban Bing Crosby because he's not dreaming diverse enough?"
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff about like we can't have just a white cast.
Well,
If I did Roots with just white people, it'd be controversial. But if you have like a totally white cast, they're like, it's not diverse enough. So I was being ironic, but I'm saying that's kind of the way the world's going.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you can't even wish people Merry Christmas now. There's you have to put up the holiday tree.
Happy holidays, season greetings.
But I'm thinking and I'm like not trying to stir the pot, but like I mean,
You're stirring it.
would you say for someone who's Jewish, I mean, you can't call something, you change the name of something in their beliefs, right? Like
Yeah.
that's, you can. But so I don't know.
But you can say Happy Hanukkah if you know they're Jewish.
True, but like, would you say something different about like their menorah, right? Would you say the candelabra?
Oh, I see
right?
what you're
You know what I
saying,
mean?
yeah.
Like, so it's just, I don't know. I think
I've never heard the term holiday tree. I think I'm giving up Christmas if I have to put up my holiday tree.
It makes an appearance every once in a while where it'll float to the surface and there'll be a big movement for it, and then it'll kind of just settle down.
Yeah.
And then again, it will come up again.
So did the black guy nail White Christmas?
Oh, he drummed it quite nicely.
Did he? Did it? Well, maybe he wanted to be white. You never know. We can't hold him back. I used to sing I'm Dreaming of a White Supremacist Christmas, but that doesn't get a lot of favors.
Especially
it reminds me.
now.
Are you kidding? We haven't been 10 minutes and we've been talking about this, but I have to say this. I remember watching a Christmas special with Nazis.
Oh.
Not Nazis. Yeah, it was. It was like Hitler and them hanging like swastika balls on their Christmas tree. It was like old home footage of like World War II, and they were very proud, and they had swastika balls. That sounds like some delegate. Go down to Denninger's and pick up some
swastika balls. Yeah, they were just gargle them around there. Oh, tastes like exclusivity.
You might have guessed this isn't going to be your typical Christmas show, but that's kind of why I like it.
You talk about footage of Hitler putting on Christmas ornaments. Did you hear about the BBC sitcom that they created that was in the 1980s?
Yeah, there
was for 3 episodes.
I think I know. What was it called? It had a great name.
I forget the name of it, but the premise was it was a Jewish couple who lived in an apartment flat in Berlin, and across the hall was Hitler and Eva Braun.
Oh, wow.
And it was their buddy relationship of how this Jewish couple would live with Hitler next door. And it was supposed to be camping over the top. It lasted 1 episode aired. They made a whole season with it. They destroyed the rest and immediately pulled from air after the pilot was done.
I know there was an American one as well that they did, which made them like working class. I don't know if it was actually Hitler, but they were like Nazis. But Hogan's Heroes was a big hit. They made fun of, and that was even a hit in Germany. These great Christmas stories. I remember Seinfeld. One of the places it wasn't popular in was Germany. We actually got a thunderstorm. Leave it to me to pick a day that it's really hot and we get a thunderstorm for our Christmas special. But anyhow, Seinfeld, one of the places it wasn't successful was in Germany because the humor didn't translate a lot. So apparently rumor is they actually put old Hogan's Heroes episodes in its place because it was just like...
It just wasn't being received.
Right. It's funny they could still laugh at themselves. See, they got a sense of humor. That's the thing. Do you have a nice Christmas memory for us?
I love Christmas. I always go back to Quebec for Christmas, so it's very nice. Probably my favorite memory is in midnight mass, Christmas Eve, and we probably have had a little too much eggnog, and my mom's half asleep, but she's there, and my brother and I were kind of a little too loud, and watching people a little too much, and paying a little less attention to what I should be paying attention to.
Are you rowdy at Christmas
I'm a little
Mass?
rowdy in Christmas Mass.
I might go more often if I knew that.
He's the guy in the back of the church going, birth him, birth him, birth him.
Now, I do remember, this is about 3 or 4 years ago, I was sitting up, this church has like a second level, so you can look over there's like, multi-levels.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a horrible cold, and I was, I don't know, I was tired, I was a little bit drunk, and I remember looking over and my nose dripped down into the pews of people.
Did it land on people?
Oh, I pulled back. I pulled back like I've never pulled out before. So it was quick in and out. I'll put it it was
that's the old in and out.
It was one drip.
One drip did so much damage.
Yeah, it did.
I think I went to Midnight Madness. Oops, that's what malls used to do. I went to Midnight Mass once, I think, in my life, and it was like, I found it. You know what? I was just about to say I found it rewarding and I found it very spiritual, but then I remembered I actually was pissed off because when they put the money tray around, they did it to my favorite Christmas song, which was Silent Night, and I found that very...
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought that's such a beautiful song. They should be passing around the dole and the money out at that.
Silent Dunk.
Yeah, I know. Like I don't know what other, but they must have other hymns, Oh, come all ye clink. Like that would work better, or something like that. Clink. Or ABBA's Money, Money, Money.
They should play something like that.
Must be funny. I don't think that's gonna. Well, ABBA's spiritual. I think they.
Or the Donald Trump, the Apprentice.
Oh, the OJ's film.
The OJ's, yeah, Love of Money.
Oh yes, yeah, money, money, money.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we wouldn't be running Midnight Mass. I used to work with a Scottish guy, a young guy, and he said that they loved going to Midnight Mass because in Scotland, and this is him saying, he said, well, we're known for our drinking and stuff, and it was awesome because you'd sit right at the back and you just watch all the drunks, because at their ceremonies, everybody held candles, and you could tell the people that were falling asleep. Because every once in a while you just see like somebody patting out like a candle dropping like on their arms and stuff, and you'd sit in the back and just lose it because you could always tell who was getting bored at church because the candle, and then you just hear, and so you're like, there's one that's gonna go up. Yeah, they're really crazy in Scotland, so
that's why they really give us candles in a mass setting. It's the ultimate alarm clock.
Oh, it would be funny. I shouldn't say that,
Not funny, but.
It would be, yeah, I would be humored by that. If they got it out, obviously. If the church went up, that's a totally different children's.
Now, how about you? What's your...
I have a lot of Christmas memories. I've shared most of them. One that I probably haven't shared here, it's not the greatest Christmas memory, but it's fun. Well, I had a puppy. I had a puppy growing up, and the first year we got him, his name was Snoopy. And I named him. I'm a Peanuts nut, so I still was naming him that. And I remember we get these. Do you know what feather beds are? They're filled with feathers.
Yes.
Now it's hard to find a really good one, but we got some from Germany, because we lived in Germany. We brought them over, and they're literally filled with feathers. They were awesome. If you can ever get a real feather bed, I recommend it because it's. You'd think they'd be hot, but they're actually cool on you in hot days, and then they would be warm on beautiful. Oh, sorry, Praise and Featherbeds brought to you by Featherbed. So anyhow, yeah. So we had this puppy the first year, and we had these featherbeds, and those two don't mix very well. And I remember my dad waking up on Christmas morning, and it looked like it snowed because the puppy ate the thing, and there was feathers all over the Christmas tree, everything. And there was piles of vomit all over the house as well. I remember coming down the stairs saying, "What's that, an onion peel?" And then realized it was so that Christmas morning we were cleaning feathers and vomit. So not the greatest story, but I like it because I used to love my dog very much so, and he will always be my favorite dog out of all the ones we had. But I'm sure we'll share other things. What's your favorite thing about Christmas?
Favorite thing about Christmas has to be food.
Food?
Oh.
Speak up a little.
Speak up a little. Oh,
Yes.
food!
Just in case, yes. We want to hear your lovely voice.
Nah, food is the best part of Christmas. Every morning, or every Christmas morning, my mom makes a 4-course breakfast. Which I like a fruit salad, a strata, which is...
What's that?
Strata is like egg bread with cheddar cheese, tomatoes, 3 types of meat inside of it that's soaked overnight and then baked.
Wow.
And it's
You
just
had me at
eventually-
egg.
Oh, we
Had
fight
it
over
baked.
this dish. Like every year, it's who's going to get the last strata. And then we have this lovely coffee cake that has pecans and cranberries on top of it.
Oh,
So
Lord.
she goes, and then the night before that, we have fondue, usually, a couple of us. And then we go to my aunt's house, and we have like ham, turkey. Just everybody brings a bunch of dishes, and we just basically gorge ourselves for about 24 to 48 hours. And we just roll on home the next day. And it's just...
And do you like stuff like eggnog and stuff like that?
I like eggnog, but I'm not an eggnog and rum drinker. I like just the pure
Eggnog?
taste of eggnog.
Yeah.
I just enjoy a good smooth nog.
What's your food? Are you an eggnog drinker?
I
can't-
love eggnog.
I can't do egg. I love
really?
eggs is my favorite food, but I can't do the nog.
The nog. I love a good eggnog with a candy cane in it, just and
Ooh.
stir the shit out of it and just go at it. But my
You
favorite,
made that sound very sexual. Like,
Well,
I'm
it
just
is
like,
sexual.
I feel like I want to be eggnog right now.
I fertilize it. My favorite thing, this probably because I'm from Quebec, is tourtière meat pie.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's that? Explain that for
it's,
people who don't know, not me.
Tourtière is it's a meat pie. It's made with meat. Meat. It's like a.
You're
ground-
telling me you don't know, it just tastes
I-
a hella good.
Well, it's ground beef with like onions and
Okay.
like that. That's and pork too. Some people make it with pork,
Nice.
and it's in a pie, and you put the ketchup on it, and you just go to town. And
Sounds lovely.
That's probably one of my favorite Christmas meals. And then also, my mom makes homemade bread, and I love homemade bread. It's so good. And like she does it like
Homemade bread, yeah.
Oh, like, like she kneads it and she
Yeah.
punches the shit out of it, and like it's like a 4-hour process. Like it's a long thing.
What are we going to do when all these, ladies leave us? Because they don't really make that
No,
anymore.
or
right?
even knitting. Like
Yeah,
I was saying,
knitting.
my grandmother who passed away this year, like she would knit. Like every Christmas, we would always get like mittens and
Yeah.
socks, and I'm just thinking like no one does that anymore.
Do you want to hear a sad, sentimental story? It's not really sad. It's kind of sweet, but I find it a little sad. Working at Value Village, I see a lot of things, and there's this older lady that always buys these knitted things that are in good condition, and they're hand knitted, and she finds them and buys them. And one day, she told me that she buys them because her hands just aren't good anymore, but everybody expects her to knit these things.
Oh,
And so she literally buys these like baby sweaters and stuff for her grandchildren because she can't,
You can't knit them.
she doesn't want to tell her kids that her hands just can't do it
That's
anymore.
sad.
It is a little,
Yeah.
but it's sweet that she wants to carry on that tradition as well, but I know there's
No, it's also a little bit of a fraud.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
I don't want to say anything, but we're all thinking. She's a bit of a fraud.
I didn't even realize that.
Con.
I know. I love this story because there's many layers to it. There's that sweetness of that she'd want to do this.
Yeah.
There's that sadness that her kids are probably like, well, she better have knit me something nice. And then there is that kind of sleazy aspect that she's telling them that she's made them, and she's at the Value Village buying them. But she'll buy anything that's like that. Like, hey, I found a blanket. Thank God, I was just supposed to knit one, But
She
makes
rips
me
off
think-
the tags. She must because
no, because other people knit them, so
Oh,
they
okay.
wouldn't have
So
them.
they're
So
not like-
these are like 'cause sometimes they get donated once they're used.
oh yeah.
Because sadly, a lot of people don't. They'd rather have store bought, crazy people, so they might donate it. So there is this weird 3-level tier to that story, but it makes me wonder: could I get away with that? Like, find a knitted blanket and tell somebody I worked on this for months for you, and you
Look what I
better
learned to do
treat
all
this.
year long.
My tears and my blood and sweat are all in this.
You do it for
sweat.
other things, like get a painting. I painted this for you.
I know you could.
Yeah,
So
honestly.
why does it say your name is Monet?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a show. I think after I'm done with retail, because the amount of stuff I hear is incredible. Like even the little craft stuff. Like it's not all sadness, but like half the times when people buy the big frames, I'm always complimenting on the picture. They're like, I'm getting rid of that. I'm buying it for the frame. Have you seen how expensive frames are? I never even thought you go buy a used. Like they're getting these gorgeous frames for like $12.99, and then just get rid of the picture, and then. But you know, and it beats like $70-$80 at like Michael's or something.
That's what my dad does when he paints his paintings. He goes to Valley Village and finds a bunch of frames. Gives them for like $4 or $5. Pops to the picture and then puts in his own.
Is your father a painter?
Yeah.
Nice.
He paints for fun.
Is it just for fun, or has he ever had a show or something?
We've asked him to submit his works to shows, but he hasn't really said yes. But he does paint fairly often, a lot of landscapes. He was obsessed with Northern Lights a couple years back.
Oh,
He
cool.
might be just like, because some people paint, that's their thing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily want it out there, but
Yeah.
because it's kind of maybe like Mike is a really good photographer and drawer, and I always tell him, why don't you do that like more or do something with it? And he told me point blank, he said, I don't want it to feel like work.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I have to like deadlines and I have to like draw a certain thing, I won't enjoy it, and I do it for enjoyment. So maybe it's just a strip, but that's going to be wonderful stuff to have when you. Does he do nudes? Did he go through a nudes phase?
He hasn't, at least not that I'm aware of.
Until you find this
until I
room,
find
this little
yes.
door. All these nudes.
Well,
everywhere.
they've
Your mom
downsized their
ride
home,
them?
so like this guy.
Sorry, the first
Me
time he
riding
was
him?
here, the first time he was here, he told me about the first time he caught his parents having sex. And,
Let's hear about.
Oh, again? Happy holidays.
oh yeah, for people who haven't heard it.
You just kind
I'm
of.
sorry, I embarrassed him once.
That's all right.
His grandmother's very famous on our show. I get more emails from her because she's. For a while there, she had a better, she was doing better than Josh in the dating market, if you know what I mean.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That, huh?
But no, one of the first things he saw was your mom riding
Going
your
to
dad,
town.
and it blew me away because you see your parents have sex, but literally his mom. She listens to this show all the time. Says, why does he keep talking about that? He always brings it up. Oh, that was me this time. I just wondered maybe he painted that one day from his view.
From your view.
Keep doing it until I'm done. I'm working in pastel. Sorry, we've lost Josh.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, let's move back to food. That was safe. Yeah, I like a lot of the crap. I can't buy it early though. I don't have any great baking stories. My mother used to bake, but I don't remember anything. Though I was telling Mike when they used to throw parties, do you ever look back at your parents and realize, I can't believe they did that? Because my parents were not really social people, but I remember them throwing parties, and they'd have like stuff like caviar. My parents are not caviar people, but I remember like, what's this black shit here? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, who are they trying to impress? They'd invite the neighbors. It's not like they were, with the boss is coming over, we gotta, like some. But I love all, the snacks and cookies that people make and stuff. But eggnog, I can never do.
I feel like there's always a subtle, though not so subtle, like one-upping that always happens around the holidays when you go to other family, friends, or like workhouse where it's like, oh, we went to Jones's house. They had a whole potpourri and a lovely spread. And we went to so-and-so's house. They gave us lukewarm antipasta. Oh, well, we can't be having that in our holiday.
So you should have your party early so you don't have to one-up everybody else.
Well, I think the most intimidating holiday party is when I end up bartending at, and it's at she's somebody that we know's house. And it's like, you walk in there and food is amazing, and it's one of those spectacles that happens. You can't quite put a finger on it, but it's just a strange, surreal evening that they're able to come together and have everything.
So I can rent you as a bartender?
Yeah, you can rent me as a bartender.
What do you wear? What's your like outfit?
What do I wear?
Christmas ball.
Last year I wore a red kind of checkered shirt and a green tie at Christmas season.
That's cute.
Usually I do standard black if it's
Topless? You haven't done topless with a tie?
No, I've actually remained fairly clothed as a bartender.
Oh my god, you haven't done one of my parties.
It's just the dress.
I know. Josh is one of the people who's showing up. They'll get here. Don't you worry. They'll get here.
The ice is melting him.
My ice sculpture. That giant penis, because all us gay men have giant penis ice sculptures at our parties.
Now,
I don't have a tray. No.
On the sculpture, talking about the balls, are they clean shaven? Is there a little bit of fuzz on them?
I would be impressed if they could do what do they get, ice shavings for that, I guess? Like, you know.
Oh, so it just looks like it's been buzzed, kind of?
Yeah, I don't know. I would like that. You know, we've talked about that, you know.
Yes.
When you said you shave your body, I was
do.
like
I'm
morally offended by that. I almost asked you to leave.
Yeah.
I like how we're going back to memory lane. You're like, I remember all this stuff. This is stuff we talked about on here.
I remember.
He mentioned, because I think it came up in a topic he's around.
Yeah, it's very. Oh, yeah.
And you said, oh, yeah, I shave. And I go, what?
Yeah.
I was like, please don't tell me that ever again.
I shaved my chest hair once, like completely off, for a Halloween costume last year when I went as a white woman. And my friends drew cleavage on me and they did the whole thing there. But having it grow back felt like I was wearing 1,000 like Remembrance Day poppies, just stabbing me where the hair was growing back.
Yeah, because it gets sometimes goes in wiry a little.
Never again. I will keep my Brillo pad safe and sound in my dents.
You know, Superfan Jen's like, how many times can this guy have a show about shaving your body parts? Because I think I've done it. It comes up a lot.
Well, you know, it's hair. It's something we all can relate to.
And you get Nair as a sponsor.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I should just do a show about body hair and stuff like that.
They dedicated a whole musical to it.
Oh, hair.
I like the pause.
That took me way too long to figure out the fact that I almost went to hairspray first. Oh my god. Anyhow, I'm just saying that I'm just mesmerized by having this much beefcake in the room. Well, that's why I'm not thinking straight.
Tortilla.
The meat. Oh, it's good. It's good.
I'm sure it is.
My mom
and
makes it.
what was yours? Strandle?
Strandle?
Just looking at your mom again. So, oh my god, don't let her listen to this. Tell her you didn't do this show. It's somebody who looks like you.
It's all good.
Anyhow, sorry. We're going to take a short break, but we will be right back. This is the Christmas episode. I'm here with Andrew Hops and Josh Obermeyer, and I'm Devlin. Come on back, because you don't know what's coming up next. It's ticklish, I tell you. Oh, we're back. We're here on the Christmas episode of Devlin's Pirate Radio Show, and we're having some fun with a new toy I bought. I bought a back scratcher, but apparently it works for your balls as well. Josh decided we all needed a little ball tingling for the Christmas season. Oh my, it does feel weird, doesn't it? This is where you wish we had the cam on.
Cigars?
I know. It's the greatest thing. These guys are running out to buy those, I think. Okay, Josh is back on his balls again, so he's living it a little too much.
I can't leave myself out. I'm a giver.
It's it's a bear claw back scratcher if you want to go out and do it. It's great for your back. I bought it for a novelty gift for someone, and then I decided, I'm going to get one. Apparently it works for your balls too, yeah. It's a ball scratcher. They probably can't promote it as that. So back to some innocent stuff. Andrew, what's your favorite Christmas carol?
Ooh, my favorite Christmas carols. It's definitely "O Holy Night."
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah,
you went for the religious.
Yeah, well, this thing is a really nice carol.
It is. I find it's gotten more popular in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, it was only something you'd hear once in a while, but I hear every time some new singer has a new album out, you see "Oh Holy Night's" always on it.
And I like Josh Groban. He does a great. His
album's great.
He's such a great. I'm a big Josh Groban fan. Spoiler alert. So I'm a huge fan of it. Another song is by George Michael. Is George Michael's "Last Christmas." I like
Wham! Yeah,
Wham!
Wham.
Yeah. Wham.
No, that's fine. It was probably just him because Wham. He put his name on a lot of stuff that was just him. But
yeah,
that's a great and another song that's become popular in the last 10 years. Because I came home from Value Village the other day and I said I think I heard like 18 versions of Last Christmas and Wham was not one of them.
Okay, it's
Everybody's done it. It's a great song.
Yeah, it is a great song. It's I find it's rare that a new Christmas song. I mean, it's not new. But
1980s.
But you know what I mean? Like one that hasn't been from like the early like the 50s.
Yeah, like Rudolph.
White Christmas. Like that can kind of transcend time. That comes out, and that's one of them that has actually transcended.
Well, you can tell that's from the 80s just from the synth and the boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
And the great video too. There's a crazy, weird video like a soap opera where like George Michael had like the earrings and the hair, and we didn't know he was gay back then. We just thought
didn't know.
all the women wanted to bang him. Every woman listening to this right now is like, "Oh, remember when George Michael was straight?" Then you watch like Wake Me Up Before You Go and say, "Why did we ever think he was straight?" You know, like this guy had like might as well choose queer on his shirt. That's horrible. I'm gay. Remember, you can't. For those new listeners, I am gay. I'm allowed to make fun of gay people. But no, two great songs.
Yeah, those are
those
are my two.
Yeah, and you have you can have two as well.
Mine's got to be Little Drummer Boy.
Little Drummer Boy.
Little Drummer Boy.
Any particular version or just any
actually,
of them?
Josh Groban's version. He has a really good guitarist. That
Spoiler
gets
alert!
Spoiler alert! Apparently everybody's this little Josh Groban love fest.
I'm saying the man's got vocal cords.
He does. And you know what? I always thought he would be... Have you ever seen him outside of music?
Oh, yeah.
He's actually a really cool guy. Like, I'm stereotyping, but he always looks like he'd be a little, like, uppity or, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, a little snobby. He's not. He's actually so down to earth. The greatest thing I ever saw him do, I think at one of the Emmy Awards show, he did, like, a medley of TV show themes, and it's actually pretty awesome to see him do all these old TV show themes. Okay, Little Drummer Boy, Josh Groban. I'll have to listen to that version. I'm not familiar. I do know, I've heard his Oh Holy Night, but I've never heard his.
Yeah, it's not one of the ones that gets a lot of airtime or airplay, but it's up there.
Little Drummer Boy, I think, succeeds because, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of radio stations avoid the Christian-type songs.
Yeah.
You'll hear Silent Night once in a blue moon, but you notice stuff like Oh Come All You Faithful or Away in a Manger doesn't get played that much because it's got that Christian element where like Last Christmas everybody's had a breakup and stuff like that, but Little Drummer Boy gets away with it, you know, probably because of that David Bowie and Bing Crosby.
That's also
that's a great one.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the greatest thing I ever heard about that version was how that happened, because it's not as festive a story as it was, because from what I hear, Bing Crosby had David Bowie on the show, and Bing was set to play, he wanted Little Drummer Boy, and when David Bowie came in, he was like, kind of like, I don't know, fucking do that song. So they literally, before they started filming, actually wrote that little segment that Bowie does just to give him something different while Bing stuck to his guns and still sang Little Drummer. And then that beauty mash happened.
Yeah.
So, so that's what I heard. But that's a beautiful... I've also heard a Canadian drummer, a young guy. He went viral a couple of years back, named Sean Quigley. He did a really rockin' version of it, and this Canadian guy was all over the world because his version, amazing if you ever hear it. His name's Sean Quigley, and it's on YouTube, and like the year it came out, he just suddenly got like millions of viewers, and this, kid, because I think when it came out, he was only a teen in high school, and it's an amazing version of it. It's like really rockin'. Another one? Any other ones? Or that's all you're promoting?
Yeah, it's Little Drummer Boy.
That's a good one.
I was going to say something that's really disappeared. It's flown away. It'll come back to me.
I mentioned Silent Night is one of my favorites, if you go in the religious sense. But I think it's my favorite because it was my parents' favorite. My father told me that he when he got when the war ended and he came back from overseas, he remembers, being so happy it was all done and everything, but he remembers that when he came down, it must be close to Christmas, they had these nuns that were welcoming them home, and they were singing Silent Night.
Oh.
And first thing he told me, and he must have been drinking, because my father doesn't talk about that time in his life unless he was drinking, and he said it was the most horrendous version he ever heard, but because he was back on home soil, it was the most beautiful version he ever heard. And then my mother told me when, during wartime, when she was a little girl during World War II, and she said at Christmas when it was like all you'd hear was fighting, and then when they take a break, and then sometimes you just hear people just randomly singing Silent Night, and, it'd always bring them to tears. So I kind of love those memories. For lighter one, I kind of always like Winter Wonderland. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I hate now that we've got this, I don't know if it's global warming or stuff, but I have my music, and I always get these Let It Snows, Winter Wonderland, and it's like fucking rain, thunder we got here. And it's like we don't get the snow till like January, February now. It's kind of sad, because I'm never walking in a Winter Wonderland again.
I remember I was going to talk about it, that you can always tell Christmas season is coming when All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey starts playing. They've actually,
that,
if you look at
yeah.
the Google Trends, it's hilarious because you can see, like, right in, like, middle of November, it starts peaking up and everybody just goes, it begins, and you see it spike up and then
Yeah, that
every
song.
year it's consistent.
What I notice now is many people are recording it now, so it is most definitely a classic now.
Oh, yeah.
And it scares me how old it is, because that was in the 90s now. And I always think of Mariah as, oh yeah, that was only out a couple of years ago. Then you think, no, young people don't really relate to Mariah anymore. They're like Beyonce and stuff like that now. And it's weird that it's like, oh, I remember when Mariah came and nobody was relating to Madonna. I'm like, I'm getting older. Is there a Christmas carol that drives you nuts by the end of the holidays that you're like, I never want to hear that thing again?
Have you ever heard of Dominic the Donkey? Have you ever heard this Christmas carol?
I think I have.
It's
the memory
if
of
you, oh, you'll know it.
Is
Trust
this
me.
a Quebec thing?
No. I wish it
Dominic
was.
seems French. I don't know.
I think it's called Dominic. the
Oh,
Donkey.
I've got to
And
look this up.
It's so crazily weird that I like it because it's so like. And you say it drives me mad. It does make me go crazy.
But you love it.
But I
Good.
love it because it makes me go insane.
Oh, this might be the winner for if we can get the rights to play it in between.
If you can play Dominic the freaking Donkey,
Yeah. If
people
not,
are gonna shit their pants at home.
Oh,
So I hope.
is it really? Well, if I don't, I'm going to pass it on to someone, because next week I got someone taking over my show. I was telling. I'm not saying who, but
Santa Claus.
someone close to me is going to be playing off Christmas songs, like just weird ones that
Oh, nice.
But so Dominic the Donkey, you got like any ones that drive you absolutely crazy, like that you don't need to hear anymore, or you can hear once and that's it.
there's a version of Dean Martin's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Dean Martin?
Where he
He's
shortens...
calling out people.
Oh, I am. That's right. I'm coming for you, Dean Martin. Roll over in your grave. He is dead, right?
He is dead.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I
One.
shot him.
But he always shortens down Rudolph to Rudy.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Red-Nosed Reindeer. And it's just Rudy. Who do you think you are, Dean Martin?
That offends you? I love that. Now I'm going to look for that version, too.
Oh, it's
Rudy.
horrible.
One-
Rudy, the red dick
A
reindeer.
version that cracks me and Mike up lately is, you know that song Santa Baby that they do the
Oh,
women
yes,
sing about
yeah.
wanting all the money, and
Yeah.
Madonna, Eartha Kitt. Well, Michael Bublé did a version, like a man doing it. And in it, he sometimes is like Santa Pally, and we just think that's the stupidest. But that's what they used to Dean
Yeah,
Martin, and
but,
then we're like,
hey, Pally.
hey, Pally, and we're like Santa Pally, and a couple times we call each other that, and we just crack up because it's like, okay, he's trying to find ways of not like sounding like he's trying to suck Santa's dick.
Santa Pally sounds like a weird like place you go on vacation in like Mexico or like
Yeah.
Cuba. Oh, where'd you stay? I stayed at the Santa Pally. It's like 4 stars. Like,
Yeah, Santa Baby is always a weird one. I love that song, but it's weird because it's like totally about like, give me stuff. and it's kind of refreshing in a way. Like when like Madonna was the first time I ever heard it, but I didn't realize Eartha Kitt did one. You old people are like, who are youngins? Are like, who's Eartha Kitt? But I love it because it's kind of real, as in like merchandising and do you think Christmas is too commercial?
I mean, I think so, but I mean, it also depends on how someone takes it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can be more commercial and perceive it that way, but I think for me personally, I try to do. This is a little thing I like to do. I like try good deeds for people. So like, this time of year, I try to, if I'm in line for Tim Hortons, I'll buy someone's coffee behind me. And I try to do stuff like that. I like doing the toy drives too, getting for kids.
Yeah, I do that too.
So
if we have a good year, like if
yeah,
we're healthy, both working, we try to do something like that.
It's nice. And I do think a lot of people get caught up in the commercialism. But I try not to. And I mean, it's hard though. I mean, it is hard because
everything's commercialized now, right? Like everything. Yeah. Like I when people tell me it's commercialized, I'm like, it's always been commercialized. Yeah. They brought gifts to when baby Jesus was born. Yeah. They were buying gifts for you. There you go. Yeah. Myrrh, gold. These aren't like cheap, they're not dollar store things. These are like,
What would happen if somebody bought you myrrh for Christmas?
What is myrrh again? Is that perfume? One of them's perfume. Where's that frankincense?
Frankincense is kind of a...
Yeah, what's myrrh?
I think myrrh is like an ointment.
Like salve? I just like saying salve. It's my favorite word.
Yeah, I think myrrh is like a moisturizer oil.
Well, that's probably useful if you have a baby, because they get like...
Not for the baby.
Bum what?
Not for the baby, though.
No, but
bum rashes are very real.
Oh, that's
real. And it would be worse because they didn't have diapers. What
Get the hay.
Wrap it.
Ragdoll, baby.
It could have been. You never know.
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, we were commercializing, but then we got
good deeds.
Yeah, good deeds.
Myrrh, frankincense.
So we hear you don't. Do you think it's too commercialized? Do you think?
I do.
Do you think?
And I think it's also when you're younger, you get wrapped up in the commercialism of it, and it's not until you get older that you start to appreciate and break out of that.
Yeah.
You start to realize like people and events and memories are more important than a hard thing.
But I think that's with growing up too. Like, because our parents spoiled us, and you don't think about it, like, because you just think, oh, this is awesome, Santa came, and then your parents bought you some stuff, and then when you get older, you realize, like, I realized my parents went into big debt for those Christmases, and you don't think of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then when you get older, you realize, boy, they really, gave, like, they wanted us to have a good Christmas, and and then you almost feel like, oh, that was awesome that they did that, but I wish they didn't go into so much debt. But of course, as a kid, I'd be like, where is it all? Yeah. But when you get older, you realize that, that's awesome that they put themselves out there, and, and you do. You start realizing it's, the gifts are kind of the gravy. It's the spending time with people. It's the... doing nice things. It's and that. So
I mean, look how fast this year goes.
It does.
It's December already.
It's December, and it's crazy to think that it's every year. I mean, I always say it every year, but it's coming. It's coming so fast, and then, the year just flies by, and it's Christmas again.
And I think with the reason why Christmas goes by, like December goes, is think of all the stuff you probably have planned right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like already you probably have at least 6 or 7 days, and most of them are probably on the weekends,
Yeah.
Throw in family events. They do a damn Star Wars movie now every year.
Yeah.
That doesn't... I know you're not a Star Wars man, but we're there, but you have other stuff in that.
I do.
That's cool.
Rogue One comes out on the last day of my placement, so it's going to be...
Is it? So...
Bucket of responsibility.
See, I'm waiting to find out when our family Christmas is so I can book my tickets for the next day. Because I know one of the days will be family, the next day is George Lucas's Star Wars. Well, he's not involved anymore, but I still consider him part of it. So I'm like, could you people make up your mind? I got to buy tickets here. See, we went from a really sentimental, it's all about being with your family, to moving along!
I need my movie tickets.
Yes, and I said, Mike says, well, if you missed it the first weekend would be a bad thing. I go, well, I haven't been it's not like it's episode 8, so I could wait, but you know damn well you're going to start hearing stuff immediately, you know. And I don't, so I want to be one of those people to say, yeah, I saw it.
Any chance I can get to see an X-Wing on a big screen, I will take.
There you go. That turns you on. You want those...
What's an X-Wing?
Thing? Oh, no, don't go there.
Party, we just died.
I'm sorry.
You should have known. You were looking for R2-D2s. He was like, what's this? What are you doing here? Oh,
okay.
Is there one on there?
That's an X-Wing. There. That's...
Leave it to Devlin to have something
on hand.
On hand that has
bag
it.
Yes. In arm's reach.
Yeah, it's a little ripped. Yeah. Is there one on that bag? No. Nobody's flying on. Yeah, I have, I think, Star Wars in every room of the house. Actually, that's not true. I don't think I have anything in my bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyhow, you've been educated a little bit.
Okay.
And these, we call these Y-Wings.
Have you seen any of the Star Wars movies? I know this is on Chris topic. Which one?
The new one that had come out like after the 3.
The Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. That one. And it was a bad experience because when I come out after the movies, my car had been broken into.
Oh.
The window had been smashed.
Well, no wonder you don't like Star Wars. The first time you went,
I'm not fucking watching Star Wars again. Some fucking person breaks into my car.
You owe me all.
Are you morally offended by them, or it's just I
never got into it. Like I was too busy sliming people.
Well, we'll have you're a Ghostbuster.
Yeah, I'm a Ghostbusters. Yeah. So I just never got into it.
I still haven't seen the new Ghostbusters.
I showed it to Mike. The second time I saw it,
that is not a good sign.
You know what? The first time I saw it, I was entertained by it, but I didn't laugh, like belly laugh. It was all inside. I just bought it cheap, so I put it on. I was surprised that Mike actually came in and watched, because they'll only certain things. And after we finished, I looked at him and I said, so what did you think? And he goes, it didn't really feel like anything. It was like they were trying to make jokes, but none of them seemed to work.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel there was chemistry, which is weird because those ladies do have chemistry because they've worked together before in various forms.
Yeah.
And, and the director's an amazing director. He did Bridesmaids, Spy. And I just felt first of all, the effects are incredible.
Yeah.
And what I loved about it when we watched it on the DVD is they'd have the letterbox, but some of the effects would go past the letterbox and like in the black bars.
Oh, really?
Which was an awesome effect. So, and I can, even if he's acting stupid, I could look at Chris Hemsworth doing anything. But I just kind of wish they made it a sequel and not a remake.
Yeah, and it could have been done. Yeah,
so could have been a daughter of one of them carrying them on.
And I don't want to do any spoilers.
Oh, you can spoil it for me.
Well, and the villain was.
He's going to watch it about as much as you're going to watch the Star Wars movies. So I'm thinking I'm tying you up, and it makes making you watch.
Well, the villain was just not developed at all. It was like, who the hell is this person, and why are we not supposed to like him? Yeah. And that could have been easily done too. He could have been working at the university and got kicked out. He could have been working with Melissa McCarthy's character, right? Because he's into the same thing. And he could have got kicked out because he's crazy. And then that makes more sense. You're like, okay, now they have a tie-in.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just like, what the beep,
and then Bill Murray wouldn't do a Ghostbusters 3, but he'd come on to play that ridiculous character, and that pissed me off.
It was a lot of...
Because obviously Dan Aykroyd would have came on playing, like if they played a daughter to him, and they just continued it.
Yeah, and it could have been so easy.
I know. Anyhow, I can't believe we're talking about this, but we got Andrew Ghostbusters Hops here, so we have to mention Ghostbusters at least once.
It's just an interesting idea in general about how villains fall flat. I can't really think of a good movie villain that's happened
in the last
almost 5 or 6 years.
The
only one that really jumps out at me is like Loki. The Avengers are staring at us right now. That's one of the last good villains that...
I'd have to think about it. I think a lot of them are found in more indie films now. I think you have to search them out because I think the problem is, and this is what I think, deep. We embrace villains more now, so villains we put up in a high regard now. So when we don't see good villains, like a Darth Vader is now loved more than, like, when I grew up, you'd like Luke and stuff, but Darth Vader was still cool, but he was scary as shit. Now Darth is like, oh, he's cute and cuddly and stuff. Where, like, even like Joker with the Batman. More people are voting for the Joker than Batman now, and that's... So I think when it comes to that, I think people just have a higher level. But I like those creepy villains that are like... I can't think of any. I'll have to do a villain look. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's harder to do villains now because I think... And another thing, they also make a lot of heroes that are questionable. You know what I mean? Like, which is good, but you're a real villain. Though I think Kylo Ren was actually
he was
pretty
one
good.
of the last really good villains.
Yeah, I think he was from The Force Awakens, the one Star Wars one you saw. But I love that he had temper tantrums, because when I first saw him, I thought, oh, they're not going to have him just be like, oh, I want to be Darth Vader and stuff. I liked that he had no control. He was smashing things, but I thought he was eerie. I thought he was also really fighting. Like, maybe he does want to be good, but... so I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, but that's one in how many
there you go.
Movies that come up?
I don't know why I'm bringing this up, because it's like, why am I a beautiful Christmas special? But did you find, like, when Ghostbusters came out, the new one, people were still like, oh, it's not bad, and stuff. And now I'm starting to find people saying, that sucked.
Yeah.
Do you think that people were walking on eggshells because it was a woman cast and everybody was kind of criticizing it beforehand?
For sure. I think so.
And everybody was suddenly like, oh, that was okay. And now I talk to people and they're just like, oh, I saw it the second time. The second time I was like, this is horrible.
It's not a good... Like, I wanted to like it. So
yeah, I did too.
You know, and I wanted to love it. And I watched it and the 5-year-old in me was like, yes, Ghostbusters, and then the common sense and my mind just said, like, what the fuck did I just watch?
The new weapons they made were cool too, which could have been used. I know.
There was like, it was like they had, like, it went from like having this big I would have wished they would have kept that one big weapon at the beginning that had like when they had to wheel it, and then like in the next scene, like, I've developed these proton packs, which is cool. I developed these friggin' punch guns, and I developed this rocket thing, and this thing, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't believe these were the kind of people who could make them because they seemed more goofy, where the original ones, they all seemed kind of nerdy, so one, I could see Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis's character making those.
Yeah.
Where Bill Murray was more of the, he didn't really make them, he was more of the, am I right?
Even then, like, they didn't progress. Like, they had a proton pack, and they had their equipment, and it didn't.
Not even in the second one, they didn't really.
Well, the second one they had the slime blower thing, right?
Okay.
And that was, but I mean, even then, that was it. But like this one, they had about
Up
4 or 5 generations of different weaponry within the one movie, and it was just like it just.
And again, if it was a sequel, it would have made sense, because it would have been like 30 years past. So. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because I felt that people were just, we can't really put it down. Yeah. But then I talk to people, and the next time they watch it, they're like, that's not a good movie. It's not. It really isn't. So, okay, well, we'll leave them alone right now. We'll take a final break, and we'll be back with our last bit. And we'll promise we'll get back to Christmas. But this has been a great show. You guys enjoying it?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good... See you next. We're coming back. And we're back, having a great time here. I am with my co-host, Josh Obermeyer, and Andrew Hops. I'm still Devlin, and I thank you for coming out, because I literally, when I told Corda these were the two I wanted, and it all happened so randomly. Like, I literally asked Andrew online, send him an email, say, are you free next week? You said Wednesday. Then I said, what the hell? I'll send Josh one. And literally, while Andrew was saying yes, I said, are you okay if Josh joins us? And I still can't believe I got you two here.
And we're here.
Dreams come true, boys and girls. This is a Christmas miracle.
All these jingle balls.
So it's Christmas. You want to kick back. What movie are you putting on to watch? I know there's a lot of them. I'll give you two. Who wants to start this one?
That's an easy double feature. That's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and A Christmas Story.
Yeah,
That's
two
the
of my
classic
favorites.
tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just for the lamp.
The lamp.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's a bowling alley. No, it's better. What is it? It's a statue. No, this is a lamp.
Canadian
It's a
director.
lake.
You know that, don't you, Bob
Oh,
Clark?
yes.
Bob Clark has directed some of our most awesome films, and he's not really well known. He's passed away now. He directed Black Christmas, which is like one of the best horror Christmas movies, and Porky's, which is one of our biggest grossing movies, which is a tits and ass movies. I don't know if you're.
I know because
Porky's?
I know the producer Don Permati.
there you go. Yeah, Bob. He did Porky's, and then he did Christmas Story, which, as most Christmas movies, was a flop. And yeah, that's a great film.
Have you seen Christmas Story 2?
Oh,
Yes.
I refuse.
I have.
Is it
It's
bad?
so bad.
And my brain was like,
I
Have
give
you seen
you.
Christmas Vacation
Oh
2?
my
God.
yes. Sequels of Christmas
Oh
movies
my
are
God.
classic. Should not exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're brave. As soon as I saw both, I was like, no.
Just it's not a Christmas movie, but it makes me think of like Caddyshack 2. Caddyshack is a classic in itself. The second one, piece of garbage. Absolutely the worst thing put on film.
Here's some, you know me, I'm the king of bad trivia. Did you know there was a sequel to Christmas Story before Christmas Story 2?
No.
There's a movie, and it did horrible, called A Summer Story, which is actually not the character. It's the characters, but they're set in a summer storyline.
Different actors.
It's hard. Yeah, I believe it was.
Okay.
I don't even know if it was the same director, but this one didn't even hit the radar in theaters. Check it out. Since you check out all these bad sequels,
I love.
but you love bad
Sarah
movies.
That's my
we
thing.
we have bad movie nights, you know. And
Yeah.
before you tell us some really heartwarming ones, I will tell you some heartwarming ones too. But one of Josh and I's favorite is Dead Snow, and that could count as a
Dead
Christmas
Snow
movie.
1 and 2.
I have not seen the second yet, but
2
you
is
told me.
incredible.
Yeah.
You need to watch the second one.
Yeah, if you like Nazi zombies
And Norwegians.
and Norwegians in like winter setting, this is a good.
Oh, it's a great one. If you've ever fantasized about making love in an outhouse, we got you covered with Dead Snow.
Oh, wow.
It is one of the
The
greatest
fact that
scenes.
that guy can get laid is the Christmas miracle there.
Oh, yeah, he's the only one who actually gets any action most of the
Yeah, and he's like the one you wouldn't expect, and
No.
she's like riding his lap.
My favorite line is that he comes back from the outhouse. He's like, "Yeah, I got it." Nobody even remotely asks where the girl is.
Yeah, I
So
know.
like 30 minutes later, like, oh, like Shelby hasn't come back in a while. Like,
They just assumed she like was drunk and was probably like, oh, I had sex with him and he came in me. Yeah, sorry, I went too far there. There is some actually good restricted Christmas movies out there. I mentioned Black Christmas. Now, please, that is not the remake. That's the 1974, I think, the Bob Clark movie. It is a slasher film, but a lot of people don't know this. It was actually a Canadian film, filmed in like, I can't remember, it was Toronto, Quebec, it might have been even Montreal or something. But anyhow, what people don't know about this is that it was actually the inspiration for Halloween.
oh, really?
John Carpenter said, I love this great little Canadian film, but the remake's not good, so stick with the original. And it's got like Andrea Martin from SUTV in it, Margot
wow.
Kidder. Yeah, it's a great
wow.
little film. And another one is a brutal one called Silent Night, Bloody Night, but we might have to put this on your
On the back
ridiculous list, because it is pretty silly. It's like a
There was-
guy goes nuts and Santa starts blowing people away. It's beautiful
There
for
was
Christmas morning.
a Christmas horror movie like I released actually a couple of years ago, Krampus, which is the whole German
Actually, yeah.
fairy tale.
It's not horrible, but it's not great. It's okay.
Yeah, it's the darker side of Christmas that he kills
I
and
saw
takes
it-
away the bad children.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's based on that. Yeah, the
Krampus.
German, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen?
Yeah.
Have you ever
Krampus,
seen
yeah.
German Santas in the 50s and
Oh,
60s?
they're horrifying.
They got like
Oh, yeah.
black eye
Oh, yeah.
makeup, and they literally come with like a stick, and you get cold. You get cold, maybe much
yeah.
more. You know, like
You get
my
cold.
mother had pictures of them, and I go, no wonder you left Germany. Like, hopping the fence because it's like, good Lord, this is Christmas.
German 1950s Santas and 1930s Mickey Mouse in the flesh were some of the most terrifying things our species has ever created.
Sell us some happy holiday things.
Can I say a couple TV shows?
Sure, yes, specials, absolutely.
Because I mean, Josh nailed two of the great.
Oh, I know, they're great.
Christmas. I will say three of my favorite Christmas TV shows to watch, and their episodes maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Honeymooners Christmas episode.
Never seen it.
Oh, it's a classic that we always watch on Christmas Eve, and it's if you know the Honeymooners.
Yeah, I know the show absolutely.
These are great, and it's.
Did he threaten abuse to her in that one?
No,
that's my favorite.
This actually.
To the moon, Alice. Love that we all sat around the. Well, not me. Like this is dating me, but okay. Sorry. Go on. He did always threaten her.
He did. I think this was the start of that thing in TV shows where in a Christmas episode, like in Christmas shows, where someone wants to buy something for someone and they sell something,
okay.
And then the other person buys them something.
Is that called the Magi or something?
I think
it's based on the legend of the Magi.
I think it's called.
They've done it in lots of shows, so they do it again.
They did that in the Honeymooners, right? And that's the first place that I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
But so that's one of my favorites.
That's a winner of a story.
Oh, it's
I've seen Ernie and Bert did it in Sesame Street, Little House on the Prairie.
Mickey.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about when you sell like I have a violin and I gotta sell my violin.
And then somebody buys
the violin case and they sold something that was
Ralph bought Alice a I forget, I don't remember now. It's the matchbook, and then someone bought her the same thing, so he went and hawked his bowling ball, and she bought him a bowling ball holder, right? And that's where Western was. It was great. It's a great classic.
Okay.
Number two. Now this will be the child of me. Arthur's Perfect Christmas. Arthur the Aardvark.
Yeah, the Aardvark.
That's one of my favorite. Yeah. I could watch it.
Amazing.
It's
I
good.
did not know you were a big Arthur fan.
Oh, I'm a huge Arthur fan.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Arthur.
Is that the one with the creepy looking sister?
They're all.
DL or HS or
DW.
Okay, BJ.
Did you say idea?
BJ. My little sister BJ. Oh, that's not right. Okay, sorry.
My grandmother had
what was it? DL?
BJ, by the way.
DW.
What?
My grandmother had a dog named BJ.
BJ?
Oh, love the peanut butter.
So Arthur's Perfect Christmas.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's about just about the Arthur who wants snow for Christmas, and kind of commercialism is built into it too. It's an hour-long episode opposed to like the typical half hour. And the last one is another cartoon, and I'm giving you a little swerve ball here. It's called Annabelle's Christmas Wish. If you ever seen it,
it's animated with a reindeer, right?
No, well,
it's a Canadian movie.
I don't know if it's Canadian. It's with the voice.
I'm picturing the cover.
It's a cow that wants to be
a reindeer.
A reindeer, and basically at Christmas time, animals get to talk. That's their gift from Santa, and the animal gives up her wish to give it to a kid to make, and then it honestly will make you cry. And I swear to God, and my brother always told me about it. Like, watch it. It's so sad. So last year, Brandy and I bought it, and it's hard to find, and we bawled our eyes out. Honestly, at the end of it,
I'm gonna have to look into that. I have a ton of stuff. So
it's heartwarming. It's good. It's a really nice. So I hope you get to those.
Yeah. You mentioned some movies, you mentioned some specials, so I'll do some older stuff. I like some of the old Christmas specials, like variety shows. I have some awesome Sonny and Cher ones. I have 3. I don't know if you know Cher and Sonny. Yeah. And it's actually a sad set because they did 3, and I don't know if you know this, but Sonny and Cher had a very successful show after their music career where they'd sing, dance, and do horrible comedy. And variety shows were, if you like cheese, you gotta watch them.
Oh, yeah, the Brady Bunch variety hour?
Yeah, gotta show you. Have you ever seen episode 1 of that? Where And that's your list,
It's
yeah.
on our list.
And then what happened was in this episode box you got 3 episodes, okay? You got, like, when they're really happy. Oh, my balls fell. Oh, no, it's my earring. So, sorry, I'm wearing balls around my neck before anybody thinks that I just hit puberty. Okay, we've lost Josh, so I'll keep talking about Sonny and Cher. So anyhow, the first episode, they're really happy and in love. Second episode, you could tell they were getting ready for divorce, and, like, they were about to split up. And then the third episode, you can tell it was, what happened was they both had solo shows, because their show was a big hit, but they couldn't work together, so they didn't really do well. Cher's did better than Sonny, that's not a surprise. And then they came back together to try to put the old magic together, but people could tell that it was an old divorced couple. Then the third episode, they're practically like shaking hands, like Merry Christmas, here's our daughter. Yeah, and it's sad, but it's so awesome, too, because you see this family falling apart. I can't rave about it now. And if you ever want to see a really crazy one, Judy Garland, it's a classic special. It's an old black and white one where she does like a reality show where she's filming it in her home, and you see a young teenage Liza Minnelli. But what I love about it is some weird things happen all the way through it. And, like, they'll be, like, because they make it like this is an average day in Judy Garland's life. So everything's perfect. The house looks great. Though, you can tell it's a set and stuff. And they invite carolers. And, of course, celebrities show up. And then randomly, these Santas come in and just start doing these high kicks and weird dances for no reason. And then they push them out and stuff. But you can tell, like, Judy was known for being a big drug user, drinker. You can almost tell that she's like, I need a fucking drink. And, like, when Liza's performing, you can tell, like, because there was a lot of animosity, because she was, like, the young ingenue. And then suddenly her daughter is starting to get into the limelight, and you can almost see where there's some, like, I'm glad my other kids aren't as talented. But I showed it to some friends a couple years ago. Chris and Alex, I know you, and I show them stuff. And Chris has been haunted by this because he said it was so sad. Because, her voice is starting to go because of the cigarettes, like she's a chain smoker. So, somewhere over the rainbow. And it's like, because she has to sing it. Even if it's not a Christmas song, that's her Wizard of Oz song. But you're starting to hear, like, and she still sounds good, but you can see, like, the cracks coming in because you see some of those late concerts, it's like rough because the cigarettes, like Lucille Ball was like that. But another one I'll throw in there for people, Saturday Night Live does some of the best Christmas skits. We have a collection that we watch every year, and it's got like Martha Stewart's Topless Christmas, wonderful, Dick in a Box, wonderful things, and so that's great. So there's some advice for you.
Two things that we've overlooked.
Am I surprised that Josh has a story when I say Dick in a Box? Okay.
Two classic things we've overlooked. Die Hard.
Absolutely.
We can't let that
is.
one go. And to go back to our initial thing, the seldom seen Star Wars holiday special.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm a Star Wars fan, and I watch that every maybe 5 or 6 years, and then I think, why do I can't get that back.
Han Solo marries a Wookiee.
For Christmas.
He does not marry.
There's kind of a marriage
There's
ceremony.
no marriage.
It's a Christmas.
Chewie is married already. He's got kids in this. Now, you got to remember, when I was a little kid, I was a huge Star Wars fan. So when they announced this Christmas special, I went nuts. And I loved it as a kid. Then I watched it on a bootleg because George Lucas is like, this isn't coming anywhere near DVD. Because he said he would have liked to be more involved in it, but he was working on Empire, so he couldn't do it. So this thing has got like Chewie coming home from the holidays to see his family that never see them again because they're so horrible. But there's a couple of things that are interesting in it. There's an animated segment that actually introduces Boba Fett. You won't know what that's about. But a very popular character that eventually shows up is introduced in the holiday special. And the best is the ending, which I think you're thinking of as the marriage kind of thing, is when all of a sudden Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, they all meet, and they all celebrate Life Day, which is supposed to be Star Wars' version of Christmas. And out of nowhere, she sings this high-pitched Life Day song that is to the slowed-down version of the Star Wars theme. And I actually have this in my MP3 in my holiday mix because it's like, life is here. I don't know the lyrics, but it's you gotta see it. But you know what? To watch the hour and a half, it's rough. Because there's like 8 minutes. It ran about 2 hours on TV. And you got stuff like, 8 minutes of B. Arthur singing with Star Wars aliens, and the Art Carney stuff is horrible, and Harvey Korman is in there, and it's like, this is a mess. And it is funny as hell, though. But it's not as funny. It's one of those, remember I was telling you, there's cult things that sound good on paper. Like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, one of the greatest titles of all time.
And
the movie is okay, yes. The movie's just okay. It should have been better. It's not like one you say, oh, that's awesome. So, if you can get through it, I have to even, hype myself up. And the next time we watch it, I'm going to get a big group, and we'll just talk all the way through it, make fun of it. Because that's all you can do.
The sequel has a very young George Clooney in it.
Attack of the Killer. Not Star Wars.
Oh, I was
okay. Return of the
Killer Tomatoes has a late 20s, early 30s George Clooney in it.
Really?
Which is hilarious because you can tell he's doing it purely to build a resume and not for money.
Yeah,
because he was also in Roseanne, right? He was in
Roseanne. He was in Facts of Life.
Right, ER, yeah.
He was on a sitcom named ER before ER.
Yeah.
That failed, and then he was on 2 seasons of Facts of Life. I don't know if you remember what that was. That was teen girls that grew up. But yeah, George Clooney. It's a George Clooney Christmas.
If that's not a holiday special, it better be.
And sure it is. Quickly, can somebody link him to something Christmassy right now? George Clooney, something Christmassy. And don't say Roseanne's Christmas episode, 'cause that could be, but...
I think of him as Batman fighting Mr. Freeze.
That's Christmassy. George Clooney, his aunt is Rosemary Clooney, who stars in White Christmas with Bing Crosby.
I did not know that.
This is a legitimate connection.
Yes, we watched White Christmas a couple of years ago, and when she came on you know how in the old movies they'd always make the cameras come up oh my God, she's gorgeous. And Rosemary Clooney was okay looking, but I remember her scene when Bing Crosby sees her for the first time and they bring the camera up. This is all Mike remembers about White Christmas. I just looked at her gorgeous scene and I go, the sexuality of Scotch tape. I don't know. There was just it was, that translates for the radio, my face I'm making. It's not attractive. It's just there. It's wow, your mom puts makeup on. Oh my God.
Jeez.
Anyhow, what are you looking forward to most this Christmas? Any special plans or just something you do regularly? Do you have an Easter? You told me, remember you did the Easter River story.
Yeah.
Do you have any weird stuff like that? Do you go run in the woods naked or something during Christmas?
I do that every day, so it would be Christmas to do that.
Jeez, I'm going to follow him.
You know what? I'll...
Get the bear claw.
Yeah, exactly. There's when we were kids there used to be a radio program called Paul Reed's Christmas Special.
Okay.
And he was actually from Toronto, and but it was just his Christmas stories, and he'd play music, and it was something that every Christmas that we would listen to. And last year, my parents, it's hard to find, and it's only sold, that DVD is sold by his family in Montreal, and my parents contacted the family, and they know, we love it, my brother and I, and they got us DVDs of his Christmas. So
nice.
Every Christmas, before Christmas, Christmas Eve night, I'll take a bubble bath.
Nice.
Give you a
We know you love your baths.
I'm a big bath fan, and I will put on, I will light candles too, believe it or not, and I will listen to Paul Reed's Christmas Special, and it's nice. It's really, really nice. So if you want to have some nice listening,
nice.
Yeah. So that's it's not as weird as the Easter River water.
Now, was it you that told me you shared my last Christmas with
My brother.
your brother,
Yes.
and the pussy story. We won't go into it. We'll check last year's.
You
But
didn't leave me hanging on the pussy story?
Well, I'll tell you after, but the listeners have heard about it, and I might do a show, so I might want to recreate it again. And you guys really enjoyed that pussy story, right?
Yeah.
You didn't expect that.
No, it was a great
It's
story.
beautiful
But my
story,
brother
isn't
loved listening to your Christmas posts just because
Nice, very nice.
he loves my brother. Yeah, how much I love Christmas, my brother loves Christmas more.
So are you going to let him hear this one, or
Oh yeah,
is it too much Nazi stuff? Or?
No, yeah.
Give him a shout out.
he's
You
a
haven't
Nazi,
said his
so-
name.
He's not a Nazi.
What's his name? What's his
David.
Merry Christmas, David.
Yeah. Oh, he was
I'm a
so
very
happy.
famous person, so not really, but yeah.
Yeah,
Come
so-
on the show sometime. Yeah, with Andrew. Yeah, we'll see if you're similar.
Oh God, he is very.
Is he?
Oh yeah, our voices are very similar too,
Is
so
it?
you won't
Oh,
know
you won't know who it is.
who was speaking.
And what are you looking for? Word two? What are you
What
looking
am I
for?
looking for?
Whoa!
Well, let me tell you.
Get the scratcher.
Besides running out and buying a scratcher this season.
I'm probably looking forward most to. Oh wow, this is like
It's a little foot.
blank.
Nothing. He so loves Christmas, it's all there.
It's
We
hard
know
to
the
choose
food,
just
we know the
one
food.
thing. I think
Well, I
what I'm
know.
looking forward to most is listening to Stuart McLean's story of Dave and the Turkey.
I've heard
Holiday
his
classic.
stuff is wonderful too.
It's amazing.
Well, great other podcasts you can listen to.
Yeah.
Thank God you listened to this one first, because apparently I have a lot of competition in the Christmas category. So.
Yeah, I think I also just like the Christmas morning pranks. My dad always gets joke gifts.
Okay.
And
The picture of your mom that he painted.
Oh, it's just.
Sorry.
Ah,
Sorry, you'll never live that one down.
I never lived that down every day of my life.
Okay, sorry. He gets prank gifts like anything.
Oh yeah.
In particular?
There was one year we got punching bag guns. Ones that you pull the trigger, you like releases a little
Okay.
you know, like a cartoon. He always used to get my mom a stuffed animal for Christmas, and one year he wrapped it up, but he couldn't wrap it all the way, so it was like this like really little stuffed dog just covered in tubes of wrapping paper, and we kept the wrap for like a good year. And she's like, "What are you doing to that poor creature?"
Nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's just joke gifts, and there's always a rubber chicken involved.
It's funny that no matter how big the celebration is, it's those little things
Yeah.
like radio shows you listen to, joke gifts and stuff. Those are the things that you remember. Like you remember the big stuff like the food and everything, but when it comes down to it, it's those little moments that. Yeah, it's incredible. But I think that's what life is. Everybody goes through those big moments, and it's the little ones that remind you just how good the big moments are and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, this is a highlight already of my Christmas. Honestly, I love hanging out with you guys, and we could go on for hours, but I think we need to call it a wrap.
I just need to
What are you
touch
doing?
my
Oh,
eyes, yeah.
Just grabbing your balls.
yes.
Get your hand in here, come on. Let's show
Okay,
the-
I am wearing balls. I remind you, hands are not on my balls because I'd be turning off the recorder right now.
It's like a pearl necklace.
Yeah,
or it's beads.
these are my anal beads. I've been stretched out so much. Oh, I can't believe I had a beautiful sentiment. Now you made me like. You will see the beads on the picture of the thing. They are not anal beads. Good Lord.
Festive.
I'd have a smile on my face like look like the Joker from Jack Nicholson. Love that Joker. Yeah, I know. Thank you guys for coming on.
Well,
This
thanks
was
for having us.
amazing. I
Yes,
never
yeah.
thought this could happen, and we'll have to do it again because
Yeah.
we're just like
Yeah, absolutely.
fit so well like a glove. In more ways than one. But we're going to take care of that a little later. Thank you for listening to this, and have a great Christmas, and we will see you very soon.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.